So today we're in Lexington at Waveland Historic Site with Montana in period dress.
Yes.
This is from the 1840s as well. You know what? This is one of the best kept secrets. One of the best kept secrets, I think, historically around the state of Kentucky. So much history in this place. So much drama. Everybody wants to hear about Daniel Boone. What's the connection? What's the connection?
Well, this property was actually built by his great nephew, Daniel Boone Bryan, although he didn't actually use the Boone while he was still alive. It kind of got tacked on there to emphasize that connection. So Daniel Bryan was a gunsmith originally from North Carolina who moved out here after the Revolutionary War. Daniel Bryan's son Joseph, and his wife Margaret that would build the property behind us here, and that was in 1844 to 1848. And they moved in with their children. Their son would inherit, and he would eventually lose the property.
Dude, is a gambling problem.
Yes, yeah, he was an avid horse racer. He actually built 2 horse tracks on the property out of their own pocket. Wow. So if you're wondering where all the money went, that's a big hint.
To the world's great shame, there was slavery back during those days. And it was worldwide. Horrible thing. But there's a slave quarters over here.
We do. We have one of the few surviving slave quarters, and ours is a really unusual and in a lot of ways misleading look into slavery in Kentucky. The slave quarters is pretty nice comparatively here, which is definitely not the case and is definitely not representative of slavery as a whole, even in Kentucky. Ours does look like a house. It also has the kitchen attached to it too, which isn't all that typical either. Kitchens generally were separate from the main house, but not always included in the slave quarters.
And what a fine kitchen that is. I mean, you walk in there and you can feel so much history. Now, us being a cooking show, we're interested in the cooking aspects and how they did things. Hearth cooking, cast iron.
We have all of it.
The actual ice house, to see that in such great shape.
Yes.
Where they would bring their ice, and there's stories about them maybe panicking about not having enough ice.
Yes, definitely. You really had to cross your fingers to get enough ice. It took a lot of money and a lot of luck as well to keep that thing stocked so that it would last throughout the year.
Yeah, onto the smokehouse. How cool is that?
Very cool. And ours was used for well over 100 years. So after the Bryans owned the property, it was then used as a farm by a second family, the Hewletts, as well. So once you step in there, you really smell what the purpose of it was.
You can still smell it.
You can still smell it. And all the bricks towards the top are all blackened from the smoke too, which is just really neat.
Now, the reason they call it Waveland, we're seeing that today.
The story goes that when Daniel and Elizabeth, his wife, first looked out on their planted hemp, they were reminded of the waves of the ocean back in North Carolina where they first called home. And so, hence the name was born, Waveland, for the waves of hemp in the wind.
Now, Kentucky has so much history, but when you walk through this place, and we're not going to give you the inside tour, I want you to do that yourself. Take a look at this right here to find out more information on historic Waveland. Beautiful spot. So, historic Waveland, take a look. Now we're going to go cook. That rhymes. So I'm a poet, and yes, I know it. Hello and welcome to beautiful historic Waveland.
This is nice.
Hello, Mrs. Farmer. How are you today?
I'm really good. How are you?
How did you end up here?
Food. There's always
food.
When there's food, I'm there.
It's our Halloween special. We've got a bunch of our friends and family with us. Some of them came as far away as 3 and 4 hours.
Wow.
So thanks. Give yourselves a hand from the drive you took there. Now, it's Halloween, and we're fully decked out in cowboy gear.
That's right.
So we're going to have fun tonight. Now, I prepped y'all a little bit. I want to see the hands of some people who you would like to volunteer who are picky eaters. Who's a picky eater? This guy's a picky eater. Okay. Picky eater? Picky eater? There's nothing that I wouldn't eat or she wouldn't eat, right?
Kinda.
So right now, anybody who is willing to participate, stand up, please. This guy, that gal, and that gal. You too. All right, everybody come up here. Everybody come up here. Draw a card, any card. What number are you? You're 1. You're 4. 2. So you're my first victim. All right, y'all can sit down. Now, when we get done with this one, you're gonna try it. So on and so forth. We got to fix all these dishes, and you got to try them. As we travel down the road of life, we meet a lot of people who influence us. Her uncle, he's Scottish. His name is Bob. And remember him making frog legs on Kentucky Field?
That's a long time ago.
Remember that one? This is kind of his recipe, and it's absolutely delicious. Most of us, we go out and get our frogs, we take them, we skin them, we put them in hot grease, and we eat them immediately. This is a little more refined. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take a little oil. So very simply, we're going to take some salt, take some pepper. I'm going to take these frog legs, and I'm going to cut them right down the middle. All right, let's pour some buttermilk out. Why would we put these in buttermilk? Anybody? What's that?
So the flour would stick.
That is a good thing too. It also sweetens them up a bit. So here we go. I'm just going to lightly roll that.
It's just salt, pepper,
Just salt and pepper
and flour.
and flour. I'm going to drop my legs right down in here. Oh, look at that. What would it take to get you to eat a frog leg? Never had one? What is it about frog legs that you wouldn't want to eat? Is it just because they're slimy? They live in the swamp?
These ones don't stink.
I don't normally do this. I kind of like it though. You know what else I could do with this camera if I wanted to? I never thought about that. Look what I can do.
Those love enough?
Just a little bit smaller.
Really? Okay.
Now, you see what we're doing here. We're just got a little bit of olive oil. We're just turning these over. So we're going to set that and let that rest in a minute. Then I'm going to make the rest of the recipe. I'm going to set these aside. Now you see I got I still got some little parts and pieces of flour in there. I'm going to leave most of that in there. I'm going to take some white wine. I'm going to deglaze. I'm going to let that cook down just a little bit. And I'm going to put a couple capers in here. Not a lot. And then I'm going to take a few of these tomatoes. I'm going to pop those in here. As that reduces down, let me make it. My hands are fairly clean. I washed them Thursday. This is the fancy smancy plate here. Let's give one plate to him and one plate to her. She can share with her. Is that your husband? And share with him. Please give him a little bit. He needs frog legs too, bless his heart. So look at that. We're not a fancy smancy restaurant, but even if we were, it is proper to pick up a frog leg and eat it with your fingers.
Oh, really? No fork?
Well, they might need that for the side stuff.
Okay.
But it is, if you stick your finger out, you'll even look fancy doing it. So number 1.
And he's going to enjoy it.
Number 1 with an asterisk. Is it too high? If it's too high, you can wait a minute. You can blow on.
Oh, look at the leg bending.
See, I'm looking so forward to the reactions here. You can use 2 hands. Man, that's not even done. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. Here we go. Watch this.
Tastes like chicken.
Tastes like chicken.
Do you like it?
It's not bad.
It's not bad. So is it the thought?
See,
Is
that's
it
the best
thought?
part.
That's the best part.
All right, give it up for the frog legs. Woo! What kind of foods don't you like?
Fishes are not on my scale, yeah.
It's not a fish.
No. Some pickled meats are very I don't know, I'm not good on pickled meats either.
Do you like summer sausage?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad. Well, that's not summer sausage.
Okay.
So,
It doesn't look like it.
so what I'm going to do you like mustard? You like a sweet mustard? You like, okay. We're going to put you a little dab on this. This goes really good with this. You want to pick it up and smell it?
Sure.
See what you think.
Smell good?
Yeah, it smells good.
If you want to dip in the mustard, just go ahead and try it.
What's it taste like to you? Like good meat? Good hunk of meat?
Yeah, like a good hunk of meat, a little bit, maybe some Spam, I don't know.
So you like it?
It's not bad.
All right. Now I want you to close your eyes. Turn around backwards.
Hey, it's Halloween. It's Halloween.
Turn around.
Oh, wanna rock and roll all night. Wow, that's not bad.
That's tongue.
Yeah, I've dissected it before.
Oh, you dissected?
Yeah,
Are you in medical
high
school?
No, in high school, but
So are you appalled?
no.
Would you eat it again?
Yeah.
Give it up for Francisco. How about that? You want another piece?
I finished my piece.
Okay. Let's go ahead and cut it up here. And if you want a piece, come on up and get it. You want to see what it looks like prior?
It's nasty.
First of all, you have to take it and you have to boil it. So what did I put in my seasoning when I boiled it? You have to boil it for about 2 or 3 hours. You got to get it tender. Half a gallon of water. So I used soy sauce. I used some garlic powder. I used some Worcestershire sauce, just a little bit. I used some black pepper, brown sugar. I probably use 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar to get that sweet. And I used some natural smoke flavor too to get that in there. You boil that down for about 2 hours till it gets tender. Then you take it and you put it directly in ice water. Why do you do that? There's a peel. The outside has a layer on it that you have to peel off.
I got to peel that off. That was fun.
She peeled that off. After that, you let it set. Then you put it in the smoker for about 4 hours at about 200 degrees. Voila, here you go. Anybody else want some before it's gone? Last chance.
Holy cow.
That's not an egg. Because you held the number 4 card, you get to eat. Now it's going to take preparations. You can go ahead and sit down, but you're going to love this. All right, now here's something that happens with your Fry Daddies. The little temperature switch, if you have one on there, it says 300 and it's actually at 400. I always bust my thermometer on the concrete floor. I always carry one of these with me when I'm doing that because that gives you a real readout. If you get past that point where your oil burns, you're done. Your oil's nasty. Now this is, you want them to be you want them to be partially frozen because they cut better and you can work with them better. This one's already pretty thawed out, but you have to get that outside layer off. So that's a sharp knife, Nikki, so don't go too deep. How many people have done this before?
They're great.
They are great. It's the most underutilized protein there is.
It tastes good if you didn't know what it was.
Now look how she's bringing that right out there. See that?
You gonna throw it out?
So this is what you have to work with. Now the reason why you want it just a little bit frozen is because it cuts better. But basically, we shot some video of this last night. You take them at this point, and you just cut them up like this. Now see, you can imagine how much easier it'd be
when it was frozen.
if it was just a little bit frozen. But what you want to do, and I'm sure all you're going to be going directly to the store and getting you some of this, but you want a piece about like that. Isn't that lovely? Catch. Oh, gotcha!
She had her mouth open too.
Then, same as the frog legs, put them in buttermilk overnight. And that's what we've done. So, you end up with a little more pliable. This right here. Isn't that wonderful? Now we're going to take 1 part cornmeal and 2 parts flour. How many people use this? Love Tony. Love Tony. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that much in there. You know what? I just found this the other day. This is seasoned salt mix. It's good stuff. Seasoned salt mix. Now, when I start frying stuff on my candy thermometer, I want it to be around 320. Anybody else there with me? Most people think at 350. 325, 330, somewhere in there, and then crank it up a little bit, but you don't want to go too high. Y'all ever heard the monkey story? A true story. It's a scary story, but it is Halloween. Let's see what kind of noise this makes. I'm just gonna let that sit right there. Ooh, yeah. So, me and a buddy of mine, I worked for the Department of Fish and Wildlife for like 120 years. And we did something called a krill survey. How many people have been a part of a krill survey? Game warden comes up, how many fish you catch today? Thank you very much. Okay, then he goes on his way. And so that was my job that day. I brought my buddy with me, Tim Sloan, he worked for Fish and Wildlife too. So we're at Lake Kincaid in Pendleton County. So here we were going around the banks. It was wintertime. I mean, it was the dead of wintertime. And we're going past the campground. Normally, there's a lot of people up there. Wasn't anything going on. And the great part about this job is if there's nobody fishing, you get to fish. Then you write it down. I'm like, hey, I'll take this job any day. I love my fisher's job. I look over at the bank and there's 2 trees, like a little bit farther apart than those posts. And there was like a clothesline up. But there was a dog that was on a chain that was going back in between the trees. All of a sudden the dog stood up and he was doing this. I said, Sloan, that's a monkey. I'm not talking chimpanzee. I'm talking like a gibbon or a howler monkey. Had a little owl face and stood about this tall, had that big prehensile tail. So we take our boat over there. The closer we get, the more we realize it was a monkey. There's nobody around. He's running back and forth. So I need a volunteer. Who help me here? You're good help. So there's the monkey, and I'm thinking, okay, and he seemed like he was pretty nice. He like calmed down, just kind of do this. There you go. Perfect. Look at this guy. Are you getting a tight on him, Kelly? Now don't overdo it. Come on now. Overacting is what they call that in Hollywood. So anyway, I'm thinking, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach my hand out. I'm not going to reach it out far enough where he can grab it, but I'm going to reach it out to see the reaction, like you do if a dog comes up to you. Okay, a dog comes up to you and you can say, hey, buddy, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's over there, you see his reaction. If he does this, you're like, it's time to get back in the car. But if he starts smiling and wagging his tail, you know you're in good shape. So anyway, I reach my hand out and he looks at me and he kind of smiles. Sloan says, Farmer, do not get close to that monkey. He said, I had one grab my glasses off one time, destroy him, grab poop and throw at me. But I want to see what the monkey would do. So let's switch. You be me, because you're overdoing the monkey. Hey, wait! Oh! So anyhow, so you gradually stick your hand out, and I think I'm far enough away. The monkey goes like this, looks at Sloan, and goes like slow motion. You remember Steve Austin? Slow motion. Boom! He's got me. I was not smiling. Now's your time to act. Terror. No, terror. He may be the best volunteer we've ever had. I mean, seriously. I might burn my lamb things over this. So I had to quit smiling. Terror. Nothing but terror. Then it went through my mind. I got one hand, and a monkey's got a hold of my other one. And he's doing this. So Sloan's going, told you so far. I'm like, shut up and create a distraction. I told you so, man. He just threw my glasses and threw poop. Shut up. So I'm like, create a distraction. So finally, he starts doing jumping jacks. You want to be Sloan?
No.
Yeah. So he says, monkey. It's real original, Sloan. Thanks. Now, thank you very much. So you run away. Okay. Now, but no, there's still terror on your face. Then you hear something hollering. You hear somebody hollering up on the hill. There's nobody here. Do this. That's nice. Nice set of touch. So we hear somebody say, no, don't pet Bobo. Bobo bites. We're like, no. Let's substitute.
Poop. I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah. So he comes sliding down the hill in his hippie van, opens the van door, throws him into a cage next to a Bengal tiger. What was back to being me now? What was my face when I saw the Bengal tiger? It was like this. Do this. Do this. Do this. That's what it was. Give him a big hand. This is the best monkey story ever. You get an extra lamb fry for that, I'm just telling you.
Those look good.
All right, now, I'm going to let those cool down just a bit. Where's number 4?
They look good. They look like chicken nuggets.
I'm gonna pretend they're crab cakes.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. What's the most exotic thing you've ever eaten? What is something, probably shouldn't say exotic on this.
I don't think, not me.
No squid, no
Oh, no.
octopus?
I'm a crab, steamed
So you like
crab.
seafood?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and steak. We raise cows, so I have to
Okay,
eat.
well you got Angus?
That's why I know what these are.
Raise Angus?
Yes, uh-huh.
Good.
I know what these
She
are.
knew what they were. But they usually don't end up on your plate, is what you're saying. All right.
No, not on my plate.
Well, I'm going to let you try that and see what you think.
Well,
Did you pick the littlest?
Now, don't just eat your crust off of it now.
My dad will be so proud.
Oh, that's so good.
You try just a little piece.
You get just a little liver flavor in there.
Well, I don't like liver. Don't tell me that.
You people
like
are
liver.
hard to please.
It's not bad.
It's not. It's pretty good,
I
really.
think the idea in your mind when you think of what it is
Yeah.
throws you off.
I'm getting a little pork chop there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what
Pork chop?
Yeah. Okay, I'll make good pork chop.
Yes.
No, who was left out? Number two. Number two, come up here.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had this?
No.
Are you excited about trying it?
No. Yeah.
Try this one right here. That one's perfect. There's all kinds of acting going on today. Now, be open-minded.
Yeah. Well, I've never went this far, so
It's time.
This is pushing it, isn't it?
It's time.
Yeah.
a little bit. But I'm
Good for you.
Just
open.
eat it, Michelle.
I'm up in my
No. Boo! What do you think?
Let me think about what I taste in there.
Nikki, you taste that. This is a good
I did
bunch.
taste yours.
Did you taste a
yeah,
little
I
pork chop?
tasted it, yeah. I mean, it does taste like a pork chop, kind of. It's just what it is to me. It's just like kind of weird. But it's good.
But
they
the
taste good.
consistency's good.
See, if he didn't tell me what it was, I'd eat a bunch of them. I would.
That's what I said over there. If you didn't tell me what
Right.
it was, I could eat
'Cause
it.
they
What
look-
would you
delicious.
guess if somebody put that on your plate and you didn't know what it was? What would you think? Because this bunch here, I'm getting like a pork reading on it.
Your
Yeah.
coating's good, too.
Yeah, and the coating is
It's really
excellent. The coating is that's good.
Yeah.
So tonight we have a couple more recipes.
Mm-hmm.
They will be included. Let's see, where would you go if you wanted to look up those recipes?
I would go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
Click subscribe.
That's right.
That way, if new things come out, we can tell you about it. And if you're not on our Facebook page, shame on you. How do you do that?
Hit like.
You just hit like. You act
I
like
got that right for a
you
minute,
got that
I
right.
wasn't sure.
You just hit like and
I don't
boom,
have a
you're our
Facebook page. I don't have a
friend.
Facebook page.
So at this time, our half hour's up, Nikki.
It sure is.
Beautiful Waveland, gorgeous place. It's all about We'll see you next week with a brand new Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
That's right. Yay!
To order a cookbook, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com.